Welcome back to Active Sports TV. It's your host, Active, and you know I had to come back with this LAC news as promised. You know, I've been dealing with a major migraine, man, so apologies, man. There's been a lot of breaking news around the sports world that I promised to go ahead and catch up on. But you know the program, we stay activated out here, man. I wanted to say thank you all for just staying engaged, watching the videos, subscribing, hitting the thumbs up. You know the routine. Make sure you guys subscribe, man. Subscribe. Don't just like. Subscribe right now to Active Sports TV. Hit the thumbs up, man. It's free. It's all that I ask for. But without further ado, let's get right into it, all right? Now, as you know, coming off of one of my last episodes, I gave you guys a post-game, our opening debut at the Intuit Dome. We ended up falling short to Phoenix, 116-113. You know, beautiful day, wonderful night of basketball, all in celebration of having our new home, despite not having our best player, you know, who we all, you know, are worried about, and especially, you know, the situation concerning Kawhi Leonard, you know what I mean? We trying to get all of the sources that we can possibly get, you know, pay attention to all the articles and, you know, see what new is, you know, updates is coming out. Reported right before the game that played between us and the Suns, Woj have reported that, you know, it may take a few weeks until realistically we see Kawhi Leonard, the Claw, you know, hit the floor for us and be able to, you know, return to help us out and try to, you know, get us over the hump and get us into these playoffs and eventually, you know, make us contenders and have a chance at winning a championship, getting that ring. Now, in between that news, the game, everything concluded. We wake up and, you know, breaking news surrounding the Los Angeles Clippers. We've been, you know, getting good and bad. So, you know, hearing our names in the headlines, you know, we just want, you know, make sure that it don't start with Kawhi first, right? Well, to all Clippers, you know, disappointment and frustration. I understand. Being a Los Angeles Clipper fan, standing with this team for over 20 plus years, you've been a subscriber. If you're a Clipper, you know, content, you know, subscriber, I appreciate you. To all my other subscribers, you know, I appreciate you, but I am a Clipper fan. I have been a Clipper fan for over 20-something years. I'm new to the YouTube scene, but making my presence known and, you know, just want to give you a little dialogue on my back history and what I, you know, how I represent the team and why I represent the team. So check out some of those other episodes, give you a lot more information, man, the backstory on Active, and, you know, what makes me, you know, a Clip City diehard fan. Now, going into the information, breaking news taking place, reported by Chris Haynes early, yesterday morning, that our organization is now in a lawsuit with ex trainer of Kawhi Leonard, who has been Kawhi's trainer since his college days in San Diego State. So this guy has, you know, been with Kawhi ever since, you know, the Spurs days, and, you know, he's been very close and been on top of, you know, Kawhi's, you know, rehab and him, you know, just overlooking, the knee injury, the ACL, so on and so forth. Um, Recently, I believe in the last year or so, I haven't gotten into the full details. So before I go and misplace anything or not get my facts right, let's all do our due diligence and go in and get educated on what's transpiring with this lawsuit in between, the organization and once again, Kawhi's ex trainer. Um, what's the details in it? I have my questions. I'm gonna save it. Um, at times during this video, I'm gonna bring up this other content creator. Shout out to him. I'm gonna try to leave his YouTube channel in the description so you guys can also check out more of his content by Brian Shudden. Um, Man, this guy been around the sports media thing, basically paying attention to all of the injuries that take place within the sports world, giving us doctors expertise on the just their overall knowledge on the healing process, what actually damaged or ligaments or things that are tore, the rehab process, so on and so forth. So let me quit babbling because I'm not a doctor. I don't know anything about these things. So let's, as Clipper fans, all be educated and then also find out a little details, furthermore details about what's in the lawsuit and does it make sense. So without further ado, Active will be bringing you this content shortly. In the meantime, please hit the subscribe button as usual. Hit the thumbs up. Let's get to it. Hopefully that wasn't too long of a wait. Let's get to it, man. So, my boy Brian, let us know what's going on, man.
Angeles Clippers in regards partly to Kawhi Leonard's medical care. And there's some pretty shocking details in this, but I think are really important and interesting to try to talk through. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Dr. Brian Suter, and the goal in this channel is to help teach you more about the medical side of the sports world. We're going to walk through the actual pages of this lawsuit, and there's a lot of stuff in here about just, the way that Randy Shelton, the personal trainer, was treated, some of the recruiting stuff that we're not going to get into, but I think...
So, Kawhi's trainer name was Randy Shelton. Okay.
The important part of the backstory is that this Randy Shelton was Kawhi's longtime personal trainer, strength and conditioning coach from back when he was at San Diego State, and seemed to be a really important confidant and trusted resource to the point where in the lawsuit, the Clippers were allegedly going through Randy Shelton to recruit Kawhi, get to Kawhi, learn more about Kawhi, and then ultimately implied that Shelton would have a prominent role in the Clippers if Kawhi chose to come there. So there's clearly this baseline sense of he's very involved. This individual is clearly holding a lot of influence over Kawhi Leonard and the treatment of his medical care going all the way back to college. And we all know we've always been very sort of confused and perplexed and left in the dark with what in the world is going on behind the scenes with Kawhi. And I think some of the stuff in this lawsuit finally shed some clarity on just the mindset that's been around his medical care. Page 7 here, I think, has one of the most interesting parts. So they're talking about Leonard's ongoing injury struggles, but yet the Clippers demanding productivity. So, yes, of course, we all know Kawhi Leonard suffered an ACL tear, 2021 playoffs, underwent surgery. For an NBA player, such an injury can be career-ending. That's true. I mean, if you look at overall, the majority of professional athletes are going to return after an ACL tear. Yes, there is a percentage that don't return to their previous productivity level, but long gone are the days where, an ACL is thought to be career-ending. Now it might be career-altering, maybe a little bit of an exaggeration. Yes, he had suffered numerous previous injuries.
Agreed. Just, in breaking down what was said by Brian, we do know that ACLs in the past have ended careers in like the early '80s and you know late '80s, early '90s. But as you know, technology has advanced itself, especially with you know doctors and you know medicines and other things that they use to you know get a hold on these things. The recovery on ACLs have been you know have turned out to be great. We got a lot of NBA players that returned, you know, within a year and had, you know, breakout seasons after, you know, coming back from ACL tears, even winning championships such as Jamal Murray. So, you know, it's going to be an ongoing issue, of course. And as a, you know, athlete advance further in you know their careers and out of their primes is going to start you know taking more of an effect. But to say that is you know career ending, that's a major stretch.
Target recovery for such an ACL tear was 730 days.
Question: would you build a website for a major brand with
Sorry,
more than
guys.
200 million
Alright.
users using Wix? Well, we did.
Hi, I'm Sivan. I'm an R&D manager.
I have no
Apologies.
idea where 730 days comes from as a target recovery date for an ACL tear. There is definitely research out there suggesting that a longer return to play time is better, around 2 years after an ACL tear. The problem with this whole argument, though, is you could let that go on forever, right? Well, if you don't come back for 5 years, that gives you more time to rehab. If you don't come back for 3 years, more time than 1 year. And so you've got both ends of the extreme where I think like the 6 months that you see in some European soccer players is probably too fast. But I feel like 2 years is way too long. And if you ask the majority, if you polled every professional sports orthopedic surgeon taking care of the NBA, NFL, etc., they are not going to agree unanimously that 2 years should be the return time for an ACL tear. And this, in and of itself, just gives you a sense of how cautious and how protective they must be with Kawhi's health, going all the way back again to college because this individual has been with him since college. I can 100% agree and understand with the Clippers saying that that timeline was unacceptable. When you have a professional athlete that you're paying money and the standard of care is 9 to 12 months for an ACL tear, it's very, very hard to then just listen to the strength and conditioning coach beyond your trusted surgeon who does these for a living and then say, well, okay, fine, the strength conditioning coach says it needs to be 2 years, we'll make it 2 years. Like, that's just not an accepted precedent that really anybody in a medical organization would unanimously agree with. You're always going to...
I'm gonna pause it right there. So interesting. And what Brian is breaking down in you know the litigation part of this is like okay, so he said up to 730 days of recovery on Kawhi ACL tear, right? So that is approximately 2 years. And Mr. Shelton, Randy Shelton, is Kawhi's strength and conditioning coach. So he has been Kawhi's strength and conditioning coach since college, throughout his whole pro career. All he has transitioned with him through every trade, and it seems that his grudge and his grief is with the Clippers terminating him, where he feels wrongfully. I haven't read the paperwork or know anything to know his side to be true or anything like that. But so everything is alleged here with Mr. Shelton and this situation. But with Brian is breaking down is just his knowledge as a doctor, as far as how when completing these operations, the surgeon is the one who determines the recovery uh, process on, you know, the operation that they just, went ahead and followed through with. Um, for the strength and the conditioning coach to oversee, try to oversee their, you know, knowledge and expertise based upon doing these operations for a career is kind of insulting to their profession in a way, like, and to the Clipper organization who has invested in Kawhi. They're not going to listen to the strength and the conditioning coach their over their personal surgeons, or any doctor, any surgeon that, gives them a better time frame of recovery due to just them having more knowledge about the recovery process, and them giving realistic expectations of that Kawhi could hit the floor if it's a possibility from their expertise. They're gonna go with that. So that's a major stretch. That's a major red flag. I don't feel like the Clippers did anything, the organization did anything wrong with following, their doctors' advices. Um, but add to that, as a Clipper fan, and hopefully y'all all following me. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit that thumbs up button. But as you know, as Kawhi was returning last year and he played 68 games, and the year before then, when he was trying to wrap up for the season and come back, during the whole season, during press conferences, they were asking Kawhi, how long do you think that this recovery will take? Are you available to play? They wanted to know his limitations on why he was on the floor. And I remember Kawhi giving one response over and over and over and over again to the media, stating that the ACL tear really takes up to 2 years to recover. It's a 2-year recovery process. He kept repeating that. He kept stating that in post-game press conferences when asked that question. And that only leaves me, by reading this document, that, well, not me reading, by Brian reading the lawsuit documents, that pretty much, Kawhi's influence in believing that that rehab process will take that long to recover, based upon the influence from his strength and conditioning coach. So that's very interesting, and alarming. Very alarming and interesting. We're gonna play a little bit more, and I'm gonna give furthermore my opinion based upon the knowledge that I know about the situation.
You're going to have people out there who feel strongly that it needs to be 2 years, but this in and of itself, just suggesting that he needs 2 years to recover from his ACL tear, when by far the standard is 9 to 12 months, tells you everything you need to know about just the mindset of care for Kawhi Leonard. They're going to involve the surgery.
And note, Brian said 9 to 10 months, so that's within a year. We know that Kawhi took a full season off, and he took a few more months leading into, the next season. So that will be a total of probably about 13, 14 months before Kawhi potentially, step back on the court, which will be well within 2 years. So, um, things ain't adding up. Uh, I I believe this guy is stretching, but I do know that Kawhi had no intentions on playing within 9 and 10 months of his surgery, and he was not coming back within 9 to 10 months on the rehab. Like it was going to take much longer than that.
Surgeon, of course, the surgeon has the experience. They've been doing this for years, if not decades. And so right away, it feels like a little bit of an inappropriate suggestion for the strength conditioning coach to say it needs to be 2 years and try to override the opinion of your team surgeon who's actually doing the operation, most likely. Now, if we move on here, of course, failed to make the playoffs 2022. They applied the principles of load management. We all know that very well. Kawhi Leonard seems to be doing a lot of load management. But then complained of swelling, inflammation in his knee after the first 2 games. MRI revealed cartilage damage. Was given biologics to band-aid the problem rather than allowing Leonard the full time to heal. Again, this is not anything dangerous. Giving
No cartilage, man. So, to all you people out there talking about Kawhi low managing, this guy is suing the Clippers organization, and he's stating that he has information that's going to go against the Clippers. But in this, and everything Brian read, all I see is they going against him. It's not adding up. He doesn't have the authority to override the surgeon, which the doctor with the expert has explained. The rehab process does not take 2 years. Kawhi played within 2 years. And he was not rushed whatsoever. He was never, we know Kawhi never at any point in time during his injury was rushed to play for any game. So, we've watched Kawhi walk off the court mid-game. So, what he's stating in his lawsuit is over the top. It's over the top, from my opinion. And this is not just me as no Clipper fan. I'm using logic here. Like, it makes no sense. You know what I mean? For you to state that. And then for all of the Kawhi haters, and especially in media, to know he has no cartilage in his knees. He's injured. The man is injured. The media is trying to rush Kawhi to the play injured, and trying to push the organization to put Kawhi out on the floor, when even the fans, we at times are pushing for Kawhi to come back faster than the Clipper organization is willing to move him. So where is this coming from, stating that they're doing things to make sure that he can come back quicker? It just doesn't make any sense. But y'all should be ashamed of y'allself out there comparing Kawhi injury and saying it's low management, when this man is getting operations, man. He got documents, and this is going on 7 years. This man has been dealing with the same issue. Now, I understand if it's that bad, he should be thinking about the long goal. But, hey, he's a man. Let him make his own decisions. But for y'all to slander him and make it seem like somebody is out here faking it or lying anything, bro, you ashamed of yourself, bro. Be ashamed of yourself. You're disgusted, and, you can't be a basketball fan, man. It ain't that serious at the end of the day. It's crazy. Like, the man ain't got no... We just seen Lonzo Ball sit out, bro, for literally 2 years and go get a full operation where he just had to get this same thing done to his knees for him to even come back. And look how young Lonzo Ball is, and his was a lot worse off. So it's like, come on, man, have more respect for these guys that's truly injured, man. You know, everybody ain't playing that role that, you know, the media is trying to put out there, bro. It's just crazy.
The biologics, something like platelet-rich plasma, bone marrow, aspirate concentrate, fat, adipose tissue, those are not really band-aiding the problem. If you have cartilage damage in the knee, that suggests that cartilage is gone, or that cartilage, once it's damaged and gone, it's not coming back. And so allowing the full time required to heal is a very nebulous way to treat, quote, cartilage damage. And an orthobiologic injection is a very appropriate way that's proven in the literature to help with symptoms and to help with healing of various musculoskeletal injuries. So there's in no way, like, using orthobiologics is a very common thing that's done, and I would definitely not think of it as a band-aid. If you look at a lot of NBA players, they're going to have some degree of cartilage damage in their knee on an MRI. But you're not just going to indefinitely hold that athlete out because their knee has this cartilage damage. You're going to follow their symptoms. You're going to try these things like orthobiologic injections. And if this is coming on the back end of somebody saying that you need 2 years for an ACL tear, I anticipate this is why they had this low threshold to say, well, you need more time to heal, because initially we wanted 2 years. It was only a year. So we're going to find these reasons to try and push this and stretch it out more. Less than a month later, was back in play November 17th. Like, a month time is very appropriate to rest after an orthobiologic injection. Like, this is not rushed, right? A concern would be if they just were pumping in full of steroid shots. And
thank you, Brian. I'm gonna take it from here, man. You know, Brian definitely filled in the gaps. You know what I mean? Let's break it down. Like I told you guys, it's been a lot going on with Kawhi Leonard injury. It doesn't help what just transpired, you know, leading into this season. We got Kawhi going out, participating for Team USA, gets in home. Lawrence Frank gets in the media, tells us that is no injury. Kawhi could have played. He had no information or anything like that Kawhi he would be ready to go. We get all the way up to training camp preseason, we hear setback. We heard Ty Lue state that the setback didn't take place at Team USA, but did have a setback once Kawhi attempted to wrap up and play basketball. Don't know when that time frame is. So now you see Kawhi has set out since training camp started late September, early October. So throughout the whole duration of October, Kawhi has been out. We heading towards November and expected to wait a few more weeks. That is not rushing Kawhi Leonard back to the court. But our organization, man, I'm at a loss for words as far as how they handling this with Kawhi. Like, what is aggravating his knee, and is this even preventable? Because we did just sign Kawhi for 3 years, $150 million here, man. And if this is sounding, if it's as bad as it sounds, you know what I mean? What's going on? What's the plan? You know what I mean? So, you know, Clipper fans have a right. When we going out here purchasing these tickets, we out here buying these, TV subscriptions, merch, so on and so forth. We have a right to know what is going on with our superstar player. And is this even something that is fixable? The frustration is crazy because I'm under the impression I cannot take our organization word. This guy word means absolutely nothing. We know this is fabricated. But it shared some light and details on the mindset and how things have been handled when we didn't know certain things were, being handled that way. It has. This is very complicated, but I'm gonna pay very close attention to this report, to this story. Keep close tabs on it. The Clippers organization has already came out with a statement stating that Randy Shelton, Mr. Shelton, is basically attempting to do a shakedown, was paid in full when terminated, and this is just another act to try to get some more out of him. And by the sounds of that lawsuit, that's exactly what it sounds like. Kawhi is still with the organization. He just signed an extension. So if this guy has been with Kawhi from San Diego State all the way until now, and Kawhi is okay with him not being a part of his training staff anymore, then the issue is a much bigger than probably what we know. But we're not going to be privileged to all of that information. But on that note, this is Active Sports giving you another one. Shout out to Brian Shooter. Go over there, subscribe, man. Hopefully I didn't butcher his last name, bro. But once again, man, subscribe, like. I got more content coming to you guys. Just had to get this one out, man. Shout out to them Clippers. We will be playing the Denver Nuggets tomorrow, man. It will be an afternoon game, man, 2 p.m. game. I'm going to try to run, right after that, man, try to give you guys post game. Hopefully we walk around with the dub, you know what I mean? We get our first victory of the season. Denver didn't look too good against OKC. So, hey, you know what it is, man. I'll be giving you more and more LAC news and sports media content, man, over here on Active Sports TV. So, we are out of here, man. Y'all know Tomato, man. Stay activated out there, folks. Stay dedicated to your craft. Love your family. Keep them first at all times. And, hey, man, you love what life has for you. Until next time, peace. Deuces. We out of here. Foo-lay. Clip, City. Till next time, folks. We out of here.